the light that never fades. The Virgin of Candelaria. In the depths of darkness, a single flame can change everything. For centuries, one sacred image has carried a message of hope across oceans, through mountains, and into millions of hearts. She is known as Our Lady of Candelaria, the Virgin of the Candle, and her story is about to illuminate yours. This is more than history. This is a living light that still burns today. Picture this: the remote island of Tenerife, somewhere around the year 1400. Two simple shepherds are watching their flock when suddenly, their animals refuse to move forward. Something is blocking the path. As they approach, they see her, a statue of breathtaking beauty. A woman holding a candle in one hand and a child in the other. Her presence is unmistakable, divine. These men had never seen Catholic imagery before. They were Guanche natives with their own ancient beliefs. Yet somehow they knew this was no ordinary statue. They tried to move her. The statue wouldn't budge. They tried to harm her. Their own hands became paralyzed. Word spread like wildfire. The indigenous people began to venerate this mysterious lady, and when Spanish missionaries arrived, they were stunned to find natives already worshiping the Virgin Mary. It was a miracle that would echo through the ages. Crosses the ocean. When the Spanish conquistadors set sail for the New World, they carried more than swords and ships. They carried faith. And among their most treasured possessions, images of Our Lady of Candelaria. Hernán Cortés himself wore a medal of the Virgin around his neck as he landed in Mexico. For these men facing unknown dangers, she was their lighthouse in the storm. But here's where the story gets truly remarkable. When the Virgin arrived in Latin America, something beautiful happened. Instead of erasing local traditions, the devotion to Candelaria became a bridge between cultures. In the Andes, she merged with Pachamama, the Earth Mother. In Cuba, she united with Ashen, a symbol of transformation. In Mexico, she became the protector of indigenous communities. This wasn't syncretism destroying the faith. It was the gospel meeting people where they were, just as Jesus always did. The light of Christ carried through Mary, illuminating every culture it touched. The deeper meaning. But why a candle? What does it all mean? The Feast of Candelaria, celebrated every February 2nd, commemorates a powerful biblical moment: the presentation of Jesus in the temple. 40 days after his birth, Mary and Joseph brought the infant Jesus to Jerusalem. There, an elderly man named Simeon took the child in his arms and proclaimed, "Lord, now let your servant depart in peace, for my eyes have seen your salvation, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and for glory to your people Israel." A light for revelation. This is why Mary holds a candle. She is the one who carried the light of the world, Jesus Christ, into the darkness of sin and death. The candle represents Christ, the light of the world. Our faith, fragile yet powerful. The sacrifice required to keep the flame alive. Purity, hope, and divine guidance. Every time a candle is lit before Our Lady of Candelaria, it's a prayer. Let your light guide me through my darkness. Miracles that defy explanation. Throughout history, countless miracles have been attributed to Our Lady of Candelaria. In Tenerife, the statue survived volcanic eruptions and floods that destroyed everything around it. Yet she remained untouched. In Peru, during a devastating earthquake, people reported seeing a glowing figure in the sky, like a woman with a candle, just before the tremors stopped. A small village in the Andes was threatened by a massive landslide. Witnesses say they saw a light, bright as a candle flame, appear on the mountainside, guiding villagers to safety moments before disaster struck. A mother in Mexico told her daughter had an incurable disease, spent 9 days praying before an image of Candelaria. On the 9th day, doctors found the illness had vanished without explanation. Are these stories true? Believers will tell you absolutely. Skeptics will doubt. But here's what cannot be denied. Millions of people across centuries have found hope, healing, and transformation through this devotion. And that kind of lasting impact, that's its own kind of miracle. Celebrations that unite communities. Every February 2nd, the world comes alive with celebration. In Tenerife, at the Basilica of Candelaria, hundreds of thousands gather. The streets overflow with processions, candles lighting up the night like a river of stars. In Peru, the city of Puno hosts one of South America's largest festivals. For 2 weeks, the streets explode with color. Traditional dances, elaborate costumes, and music that echoes through the mountains. Over 200,000 dancers participate, each group telling a story of faith. In Bolivia's Carnival of Oruro, the sacred and the joyful blend together. Dancers move for hours in devotion to the Virgin, their feet pounding the earth in rhythm with their prayers. In Colombia, families present their newborn children before the Virgin's image, asking for protection and guidance, a tradition passed down through generations. Even in the United States, Hispanic communities gather in churches from Los Angeles to Miami, New York to Texas, keeping the flame alive far from their homelands. These aren't just parties. They're expressions of a living faith that refuses to be extinguished. What this means for you today. You might be watching this and thinking, this is beautiful, but what does it have to do with my life in 2025? Everything. We live in an age of darkness, anxiety, division, uncertainty. We're bombarded with bad news, scrolling through feeds that leave us emptier than before. We need light. The message of Our Lady of Candelaria is simple but powerful. Even the smallest flame can pierce the deepest darkness. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to keep your candle burning. One person, holding one small light, might seem insignificant. But what happens when thousands do it? When millions do it? The darkness doesn't stand a chance. Mary's role has always been to point us to her Son. She holds the candle, but Jesus is the light. She carries him to us, presents him to the world, just as she did in that temple 2,000 years ago. When you light a candle before Our Lady of Candelaria, you're not worshiping Mary. You're asking her to help you see her Son more clearly. You're saying, I'm lost in the dark. Show me the way to the light. An invitation. Here's what I want you to do. Tonight, or sometime this week, light a candle. It doesn't have to be fancy. A simple tea light works perfectly. As you watch that flame flicker, think about what darkness in your life needs light right now. What hope you're holding on to, even if it's small. What you need guidance with. Then pray. It doesn't have to be eloquent, just honest. Mary, you carried the light into the world. Help me find that light in my life. Guide me to your Son. Let my small flame be part of something bigger. And if you feel moved, share your experience. Comment below. Tell us what this devotion means to you, or what light you're seeking. Your story, no matter how small it seems, might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. The Virgin of Candelaria teaches us that we're never alone in the darkness. That even when our faith flickers like a candle in the wind, it can still light the way. That the smallest acts of devotion matter. That Christ, the light of the world, is always there. We just need eyes to see him. So keep your candle burning, friend. No matter how dark it gets. Because with faith, there's always a new dawn waiting to be discovered. May God bless you, and may Our Lady of Candelaria fill your home with light and hope. Forever.